How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Factorio. Hope you guys have been enjoying the series so far. If you guys have, you guys know to do smash that like button if you haven't done so already. With that, let's get into the episodes. So, in between episodes, didn't have as much time just because I recorded last week's episode on Thursday, and now today is Sunday, so there's only been a couple days in between, and so I haven't had as much prep time as I would have liked, but we still tried our best. So, what I went ahead and did is I finished up the design here. So just a quick recap is we have plenty of point defense along with plenty of lasers and then periodic missile defenses. And then ammo goes all the way down here, and then we're going to recycle it up. Not sure where. I think it's going to come here and then return with a return line here that's going to go back up, and it's going to recycle itself. And then we'll produce the ammo up here in the forward section of the ship. And then we also went ahead and completed the other side as well. We just copied it and pasted it over, mirrored it, and then we have the rough outline. Now, we do have essentially, if we go like this, the whole ship, or at least the whole outer section of the ship, has been compartmentalized so that we have this kind of outer section and then the internal hole, if you will, kind of like a real ship would. Now down here it does get a little bit squirrely. We don't quite mirror that defensive line the same. There are some breaks in the wall, and technically if we wanted to, we could do something to more or less to make it look even, but it is what it is. I think it's fine, because the bulk of the defense is going to need to be here in the front, and we should have plenty. Now, with the amount of gun turrets we have, if we hover over it, we have about 350 gun turrets. Now, each gun turret does consume quite a bit of ammo, so we are going to need quite a bit of production. Now, we do have a good bit of asteroid collectors, so this is kind of the next part, right, where we're going to focus on building the production facilities here, where we're going to sort the ore and stuff. And then we also need to figure out how do we get rid of the excess. Now, traditionally, for instance, here on like Thor's hammer, we just eject it here and here on the sides. Now, we don't really have that. One thing I was thinking is we could do it here in the middle, but it doesn't really make sense for us to transport all the way down to the back side of the ship. I think instead what we'll do is we'll utilize some sections of the ship like here, where we could easily run an underground belt, and then we could remove some section here and then output there to the side. So that might be something we end up doing when we get to the waste management part of the ship. But I think for now, what we're going to do is we're going to shift our focus back to Flagora, just to kind of, break up the episodes a little bit, just so we're not only on one planet or only on one thing. With that being said, we're going to drop down to Flagora, and we did pick up some more of the foundations from last time we were at Aquilo, so let's go ahead and grab those. I don't think we're going to need too many more cliff explosives, but I'll grab some. That should be good for now. So then it's going to all come down here. We do have quite a bit, I just realized, of foundations. I don't particularly realize, because I think it's going to be even more from when we came back. But anyway, we'll grab that. And then if we look back over, or is it here, we're going to need these foundations for this part, and then we're going to need some foundations, or I think some of the islands. I can't remember which ones we were working on that needed them, or maybe we already used them all. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to turn all of these up to 2, which seems to be fine. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to triple, I think, the amount of trains we have. Oh, I guess I don't need to. I can just copy and paste from the map. Yeah. And then the other thing we need to fix is here, this junction, because it is slowing down considerably. Nice, we have plenty of foundations. And then I don't know if I have any here. I think I dropped it all in the quality section. But we're going to go ahead and make sure that everything is lined up so that we can get the train traffic problem solved. Because that is one thing that I believe is causing a bit of a slowdown in some of our production. Is the inability for our trains to quickly enter and exit the unloading part of quality. So let's follow these tracks north. And then, let's see. Thankfully, the robots will automatically place everything down for us. Okay. And then get silos, we're gonna go here. Okay, that material. That material. I don't think anything really out of there. Gonna need a little bit of that material, and then I'm gonna need this for sure. Alright. You know what, let's just fill some of that. Because what we're doing right now is we need to put down some lightning rods. So that way robots do not go boom when they cross this. So that has definitely been a problem. There we go. Okay, so that should give us total coverage of that. And then... oh, did we pick up any of our robots? I don't think we did. Let's see. Robot. Here's me robots. Okay. Oh, but you know what? We don't have any track. But we'll fix that here in a moment. Well, I didn't really want robots doing that. Come over here, robots. This is what I want you to fix. Okay. There we go. So now that's going to allow all the trains to unload much faster. So, the thing we found was how this is set up is with the entrance and exit to this thing. The entrance and exit to this thing. This loop is very, very full. So, we kind of have a couple options. Option one is going to be to switch this, this location from here, flip it, and bring it down here, so that way it lands about here or even lower. The other option, which I think could be beneficial, and we are going to put that there just so that way I don't get zapped while I'm floating here, is to build another loop kind of further around, so that way trains can use that to pass as well, which I think we're gonna take a look at doing. But in order to do that, we are gonna need to take this whole thing. I should be able to build it there. Okay. And then 1, 2. Because these guys are built. Only one. One takeaway. That's fine. We don't need to build that. Okay. So then 1. Okay. Nope, I want the track. Man, except then it's gonna look weird. Is there a control to make it more round? I could have sworn there was. Let's see. Because there are definitely gonna be. There we go. There we go. Now it's just kind of like a square. But, of course, now the problem does become, well, what happens at these intervals or these junctions with how it's set up. And so when we look here, right, we want a train to be able to enter or exit without causing too much of a disruption. With our roundabout. Because the problem right now is, for instance, this train is trying to get to the left. Well, this train's trying to get here. So then all trains have to stop for one train to clear the circle when this train could just bypass entirely, right? Because most of the time these trains are just going to the bottom right. These trains are most of the time going to the top. So it almost makes sense for us to have just slip lanes on the outside. Like... essentially like that. Because then it can bypass it entirely. I'm trying to see if it will let me copy and paste this. Paste. Alex wants to do that. Okay. Alright. There we go. We're just gonna remove that. And then that's gonna go like that because it's going in. This doesn't need. There we go. I'm just trying to see if we can get it to work for all the sections. Why didn't this guy place? This guy didn't place either. There you go. So obviously that needs one of those. We don't need these signals. There's a junction, either left or right. And then this guy can go that way, that looks fine. Because that makes that one whole section, which we don't want, so we do need that. Okay, let's see. Does that fix the problem? So where is this train? Yeah, because this train's still trying to get over here. which isn't great. Because our exit trains are still slowing down. You know? Because both exits are backing up. And then this guy, which is having a ton over there. We need a faster way for this train. Why is this? Oh. Yeah. Why isn't it going down that? It did still go down that path. What? Alright, so this guy's trying to go there. There's a lot of trains right now coming from the bottom here that are trying to get over here. Okay, so we, I think, do need 2 loops. So let's remove these outer extensions. Because the slip lanes only slightly function. They're not really solving the main problem. We have a lot of traffic that's trying to cross over each other. So let's see if we can solve it. I'm sure somebody has already solved this problem, and I'm just creating more work for myself, to be completely honest, but that's... I feel like that's just a lot of Factorio in a nutshell, is it's solving problems that other people have already solved, but doing it in a way that makes sense to you. Okay, so we have this, and then I think that works. Is that the same spacing? Yes. Okay. There we go. So that quasi does that. However, we need this to connect in. Okay, so if this guy is going here, okay. So what my brain is braining right now, I know that didn't make a whole lot of sense, but what my brain is braining is we have the outer circle go counterclockwise, and we have the inner circle go clockwise. So then it essentially allows a train coming from the bottom to go left without having to cross these two. And then if a train's coming here, it needs to go to its left instead of having to go all the way around. It can cross. So then, okay, so we definitely need one there, there. Actually, you know what, we can just make this easy by putting it here. Like that, and where did it go? Right before the junction. Right before junction. There we go. 4, 5, 6. There we go. So we're gonna take these guys out. We're actually gonna swap them to the inside. Now this might be crazy, okay? I don't know if it's gonna work, but I'm curious to try. I'm always willing to try something. Okay, so now Are we out of track? Crud. Grab some more track. Actually, I don't know where are we making track? Rack. So is that not what it's called? It's rail. Okay, we are making rail in 2 locations, both of which are done. Alright, let me go grab some more rail. We'll finish off this really crazy design and then we'll test it. See if it works! Because I really hope I don't have to just go find... Oh, sorry for the yawn. I hope I really don't have to go find a blueprint for this that somebody else made. But then again, if I have to, it's not the end of the world. It definitely would not be the first and it will not be the last time. Well, with all that being said, let's go grab some rail, figure it out. It's definitely going to be a slightly longer episode when we figure this out, because now these are the sorts of challenges that I put upon myself that, again, somebody else probably already figured out, but I want to figure it out myself and get that sense of reward that you just don't get when you try and just copy and paste. Especially when you find design that you're just not happy with and you feel like you can do a better job. This to me is kind of one of those scenarios where I'm like, you know, I think I can do a better job. But then again, there are only so many designs that you can do. Yeah, 'cause with all these trains backing up, we are losing tons of like production time that we could be ingesting those resources. Okay. So then this guy goes in. Am I too close to a sim? Oh, I see. Okay. Can I... Okay. So then it goes here. Again, this is either going to work great or it's going to work horribly. See, I don't like the angle of that. I'm pretty sure it's this one that's the problem. Can I remove this? Okay. Don't worry about routing everything here in a moment. That looks good. That looks good. Okay, so now comes the fun time of wiring it all up. So, if train has an option, let's actually remove all the old signals, because I think if they are on the track, they are going to mess me up. That is one thing I don't like with some of this sometimes, is you find, at least I find, that you can over-signal something, especially something like this where it looks very complex. Alright, so we'll signal the bottom and then we'll just copy it around. Okay, so there's a junction, so we can either go left or go right. Junction, junction, junction. Okay. And then go left or go right. Left or go right. Okay. Then we don't want a train stopping anywhere in this whole thing, so that's why we're doing these, because we'd rather a train stop here than stop in the thing. Okay, and then outside. So that breaks that up. Why isn't it? So we'll break it up to there. Because if I throw one here, it breaks that, but this one's not going to break in half. I mean, I guess that's fine, because if a train, even if this is broken up, this path can't get cut. So this has to stay as one. Then that doesn't matter. Because if a train is in this section, I think what I'm going to do is we are going to remove this one, this one, this one, this one. Leave that one. Okay. We're just going to put these guys here. Here's what I'm going to do is we are just going to test it as is, essentially. There we go. So, we need a bit of room. Oh, right. Hey, train, could you not? I clicked manual. Okay. We're just gonna back that guy up. Set him to automatic. Okay. Okay. Plug that in. Plug that in. Okay. Automatic. Seriously, you can place that. I don't know why. There. Do something like that. Okay. So then that obviously is going to cause slight problem for this. Because these guys need to come into that, but that's not going to work. Okay. Alright, well, it seems to mostly be working, but I won't be able to test it until I get this. So let's see if we can get it to... I can get it to that, but I want... Okay, don't zap me. I mean, we could shift the whole thing over, but that just seems redundant. Because we need it to match to that. I know for a fact you can place that. Nope. Do not do that. There we go. It, I think, fully works. Yeah. That's all there. Oh. Then let's see. And this is the only one that is not currently connected, but that's fine. We should be able to test it with just this. So looking at the trains, we still have that one that needs to go there. But why? Oh, because that one needed to cross. I'm like, why did that train stop? That is the only problem, is we need this line and this line need to be functioning at the same time, which means we need to break this junction, but we can't place a signal here on the diagonal. Like, I can place one there. That doesn't really do us anything. Like, that's fine, but I need this diagonal to have one. So we have to change the angle, I think, because we need it to... We need this line and this line to run at the same time, because what happens is if a train's exiting but this train is going to the right or going to the left, it stops because of that. So we're going to have to modify it a little bit, but I'm going to do that off camera and do some research on interchanges, because this, well, maybe is an improvement. Doesn't seem to be much. Plus, we have to fix this anyway. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you guys did, you guys know what to do. Smash the like button if you haven't done so already. With that, I'll see you guys all in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one. And as always, peace out.